everybody, happy Wednesday. We are still doing our ocean unit. And I have a couple of fun books we're going to read. We're going to read Swimmy, which is a really fun book, and this really big book called Life in the Sea. But first, let's do our hello song. We haven't done that in a while. So I want everybody to find a spot on the rug, sit down, and let's start at the beginning of the alphabet. Hello to Audie. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Bryony. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Charlotte. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Charlie. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to CJ. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Daniel. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Edward. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Ethan. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Graham. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Jacob. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Leo. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Sage. I'm so glad to see you. Hello to Una. I'm so glad to see you. And hello to Lollipop, who's still at Edward's house. If anybody else wants a turn with Lollipop, let us know. She is a super fun friend to have at your house for a little bit. And of course, hello to Mrs. Lucas. I really miss seeing her every day. And I miss seeing all of you. So let's get started on our calendar, okay? We are almost halfway through April already. And you can see our pattern. It's tulip, BB tulip, BB tulip, BB tulip, BB tulip, B, and today would be B. At home, think of some other patterns that you could do. You could maybe do patterns with colors. You could do patterns with shapes. Think of all the different ways you could do patterns. And today we are at 15. So let's do 15 crab pinchers. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. And I'm going to be sending out an art activity of some little fish you can make like this Swimmy in this book. And it'd be fun if you cut out a few of them and you could make a school of fish. Actually, I'm going to read the big book first. Life in the Sea. Got it nice and close for you. Look at all those beautiful fish swimming. What kind of life can you find in the sea? Take a good look. What do you see in this picture? Many kinds of small fish live near the top of the sea. Here's a long snout seahorse and a yellow-tailed snapper. Sometimes we eat snapper. A four-eyed butterfly fish. See if you can look closely and see where the eyes are on this fish. See if you can count. I think on each side it has 2 eyes. See if you can find both of them. And then down here we have a clownfish. Some swim in large groups called schools. Large tuna swim near the top. Jellyfish float on the top as well. Here's a moon jellyfish. Dolphins also swim near the top. Sometimes they leap into the air. That's so fun to see. That's a bottlenose dolphin. Blue whales dive deep into the sea, but they always come up to breathe, just like the manatee we were talking about yesterday. Open wide, some kinds of whales, look at this big picture of the whale. See its mouth open wide there? Open wide, some kinds of whales also come up to the top for food. They can eat huge amounts of tiny shrimp called krill. Here's the krill. Do any of you like to eat shrimp? We do in my family. Deeper in the water are the sharks, the dangerous great white, and the strange looking hammerhead. So here's the great white, and here is the hammerhead. I know I've told some of you this story that a few years ago, Liam caught a small hammerhead when we were fishing in Florida. And we let it go, but it was cool to see. Oh, I bet you know what this is. The octopus lurks among the rocks at the bottom of the sea. Brightly colored sponges also live at the ocean floor. These are the sponges. Here's a yellow sponge and a pink vase sponge. Do you see why they call this a pink vase sponge? Do you know what a vase is? A vase is where we can put our flowers. Many sea animals with hard shells live on the ocean floor too. Here's a giant clam. Here's a scallop. Ooh, look how pretty that is. But people do not live in the ocean. They can only visit. Here's a scuba diver. And find ways to learn about the sea. So here's some kids learning about the sea in a tide pool. This book is called Swimmy by Leo Leone. It's a beautiful book, so I'm going to just focus on the illustrations for you. A happy school of little fish lived in the corner of the sea somewhere. They were all red. Only one of them was as black as a mussel shell. He swam faster than his brothers and sisters. His name was Swimmy. See if you can find Swimmy in this picture. See him up here? One bad day, a tuna fish, swift and fierce and very hungry, came darting through the waves. In one gulp, he swallowed all the little red fish. Only Swimmy escaped. He swam away in the deep, wet world. He was scared, lonely, and very sad. There's Swimmy. But the sea was full of wonderful creatures, and he swam from marvel to marvel. Swimmy was happy again. He saw a Medusa made of rainbow jelly. Look at that pretty jellyfish. Looks like this was painted with watercolors. It's so pretty. A lobster who walked about like a water-moving machine. Look at that lobster walking around. A strange fish pulled by an invisible thread. A forest of seaweed growing from sugar candy rocks. Look at the coral. An eel whose tail was almost too far away to remember. Look at how big that eel is, swishing through the water. And sea anemones who look like pink palm trees swaying in the wind. Here's the sea anemones. They're so pretty. Then hidden in the dark shade of the rocks and weeds, he saw a school of little fish, just like his own. "Let's go and swim and play and see things," he said happily. "We can't," said the little red fish. "The big fish will eat us all." "But you can't just lie here," said Swimmy. "We must think of something." Here are all the redfish. Swimmy thought and thought and thought. Then suddenly he said, "I have it. We're going to swim all together like the biggest fish in the sea." He thought them to swim closer together, each in his own place. What shape is this starting to become? Can you see the shape that these fish are all making together? And then, when they had learned to swim like one giant fish, he said, "I'll be the eye." So I'm going to zoom in so you can see these are all separate little fish. Ah, the book is slipping. All separate fish, and there's Swimmy the eye. But if we look back far away, it looks like one big red fish, doesn't it? And so they swam in the cool morning water and in the midday sun and chased the big fish away. The end.